We're ready to go.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Orleans County Land Development Corporation Board of Directors on this Thursday, February 3rd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Before we begin, let me say that this meeting is being held via Zoom in accordance with the provisions of Article 7 of the Public Officers Law and amended, effective January 14th, 2022, which authorizes public bodies to conduct meetings and take such action authorized by law without permitting in public, in-person access to meetings, and to authorize such meetings to be held remotely by conference call or similar service, provided that the public has the ability to view and listen to the meetings, and such meetings are recorded and later transcribed. Members of the public may view and or listen to the board meeting live by accessing the Zoom meeting at orleansdevelopment.org/public docs. This meeting will be transcribed and posted on the Orleans County LDC homepage at a later date. With that, Michael, you are doing double duty today since Diane's not with us. So if you wouldn't mind, please call the roll.
Skip Draper. He's here. I think he's on mute.
He's there.
Hello.
Jeff Martin.
Takes me a minute.
Bill Ike.
Yep.
Fred Miller.
Yep.
Kathy Blackburn.
Yes.
Laura.
Here.
And Paul.
I'm here, and we do have a quorum. You all received a copy of the board minutes of December 2nd, 2021. Is there any additions, corrections, or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none, be happy to entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
Kathy Blackburn, I'll make a motion.
Motion by Kathy, seconded by Jeff Martin. Jeff, by the way, I think you need to unmute. I read your lips, but I think you need to unmute. And if Michael, if you would please take a roll call vote.
Skip Draper.
Yes.
Jeff Martin.
Yes.
Bill Ike.
Yes.
Fred Miller.
Aye.
Kathy Blackburn.
Yes.
Laura Ollinger.
Yep.
And Paul Hendo.
Yes, so that is unanimously approved. Moving on, financials. Review and consider the acceptance of the monthly financials. Michael?
Paul.
Financials?
Going through the accounts, let me just share my screen so everybody can see it. Did everybody see it? We're good?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Going through the accounts right now, the HUD unrestricted account sits at $4,908.97. And the savings account at $35,913.93. And then the OCR fund deposit account is at zero because we've been transferring in and out and making it work with all the grants we've been setting up for everybody in the micro programs. So that's been going well. As we go through the balance sheet for December, total assets, we are at 237,085 compared to 195,56 same time last year. A lot of that has to do with the loans with OCR grant for the micro enterprise program. You'll see that the grants transfer account to 87,590. That's the big difference from year over year. But overall, it's pretty similar in terms of cash on hand with our checking accounts, 4,200 versus 10,600. I will say we should be getting accounting support here at some point. I'll confirm with Diane when she gets back. That's at 20,000 assistance for helping run the micro enterprise program. So that'll be coming through shortly. As we look at profit and loss, just rotate the screen. December finished at negative 1961 for a net income compared to the budget of 133.33 cents. A lot more items going on, obviously, with us writing the grants and stuff and such. And you'll see as we look at full year comparison to year to date budget, having that extra cash on hand from the CDBG grants, that's where that big difference is when you're looking at those items too. So overall, we're pretty much status quo looking at years past for how the year has kind of transpired. But we're in good shape, and, you know, we got some ideas of moving forward of, you know, how we're going to keep costs in line and such. And one of those items, you know, will probably be next meeting, H. Sickerman Group and their contract services, that'll be coming into play. So we'll review that probably our next meeting as well. But that's what I have for financials.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Any questions, comments on the financials? Okay, hearing none, be happy to entertain a motion to accept the monthly financials.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Bill Ike, seconded by Jeff Martin. Michael, roll call vote, please.
Skip Draper,
Yes.
Jeff Martin, Bill Ike,
Yes.
Fred Miller,
Yes.
Kathy Blackburn,
Yes.
Laura Ollinger,
Yes.
Paul Hendel. You're on mute, Paul.
Okay, usually I can just push the space bar, but something happened. You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good, thank you. Moving on, EFPR Group, CPA's engagement letter. Michael?
Yes, in the packet, EFPR Group has done our audits the last couple of years. We have requested their services for this coming year audit. They've done a package price with the IDA, Land Rest, and LDC for a price of $13,500. This will be carrying over to using their services as well, with the expectation they're going to have the audit completed by end of February, with the expectation for them to present the audit to us prior to the deadline for parish reports, which are end of March. So we'll be in good shape. I think years past we've been kind of pushing the limits of when the audits actually came in and the paperwork came in. But this year we're going to be in course in line with what parish requested for due date. So we'll have it before end of that fiscal quarter. So.
Okay, very good. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, be happy to entertain a motion to accept the EFPR Group's engagement letter.
So move.
Second.
So move. I think it was Fred, and I'm not sure who seconded.
I think it's Skip.
Skip. Okay, Michael, if you would please, roll call vote.
Skip Draper.
Yes.
Jeff Martin. Bill Ike.
Yes.
Fred Miller.
Yes.
Kathy Blackburn.
Yes.
Laura Ollinger.
Yes.
Paul Hendel.
Yes, and the motion is unanimously accepted. Moving on, any need for executive session?
No.
Okay. Moving on, then we can get into loans and grants, the loan agent report. Michael?
I'll share this. Yeah, right now, talking with Diane before she left, everything's in good shape with that. Everything's flowing well, so nothing really for updates on the agent report on that.
Okay, very good. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, moving on. 2021 Micro Enterprise Grant Update. Michael?
Perfect. The next class is going to start on April 5th for the micro enterprise program. Right now, Diane has roughly 10 people that have shown interest in joining the class. And to date, there's been 544 participants. The last two classes, I think, have worked out really well. As you can see on my screen, a number of grants we've been able to give out working with the finance loan committee to make sure we provide funding for our local businesses to help get them jump started with their entrepreneurship and what they want to do with their here locally. So I think it's been great. It's worked out well. H. Sickerman's been great to help facilitate that with Mike Zimmer. And so it's been going well. I think, as of right now, we're in line to be applying for another grant this year. We're just going through the process and the right steps, and then we'll put that together before the board of what that amount will be and when we're going to submit for that. So we're in good shape, and I think because things went so well this year, it should be a smooth process of funding for the next round, helping future businesses. So, and that's what I have for that.
Michael.
Okay.
Yes.
How long do we have Diane? When is her last day?
So it's an interesting there's two answers to this. She's going to be here 5 days a week through, well, I might as well say it now. Diane is going to be retiring the end of 2022. If you haven't heard, or I know Diane was going to kind of talk about that next meeting with everybody, but her goal is to be kind of retired by end of 2022. She's going to do something similar to what Jim did. She's going to be 5 days a week through end of May. And then once June 1st starts, she's going to scale back and be 3 days a week, and then start using vacation time up for 2 days a week every week through the end of the year. But the expectation is we'll have someone in place by then to start training on the QuickBooks, the programming, how we work with Sickerman Group, how we work with our other consultant groups as well, and roll that out.
Okay, I didn't mean to bring that up if you weren't ready to talk about that.
Oh, not a problem.
I thought it was sooner than that. The reason I asked, if we've had 544 people go through this program, before she goes, I would have her try to assemble a list of those folks.
Yep.
I think that's good information for us all to have, especially when people look at us and how we spend government money. I think to show the organizations we've helped is powerful.
Oh, absolutely.
So, okay.
Yep, we can definitely do that.
And in that regard, Skip, I think you had brought this up, or somebody had brought it up our last meeting and talked about it briefly, and Diane was going to begin to work in that regard to see if she can assemble a list, because you're right, it's a good thing to have.
Yes.
Absolutely. And just in case you folks don't know, we've mentioned Diane a couple of times. While we are here enjoying this wonderful weather in Western New York, Diane is suffering in sunny Hawaii. So she took a very well-deserved vacation. And I am, for one, jealous of what she's going through as compared to what we're going to be going through the next couple of days. But good for her. Good for her. Okay, if there's no more questions about that, we'll move on to next Leadership Orleans discussion on the scholarship.
Yes, I think there was some miscommunication when this time last year. I think I was just coming on board. The board and I think part of Jim's setup was we did a 50% scholarship for a member of Leadership Orleans that was part of the MAPS program take part, and the LDC did a sponsorship of about $1,000 to go help pay for their entry into Leadership Orleans for 2021. And we went back through the minutes, and we had initially did it as a one-off, 1 year only thing. And I think somehow in the grapevine of things, it got miscommunicated that it was an annual thing, and we had gotten an invoice from Leadership Orleans for 2022. So I want to bring to the board and discuss with them for 2022, does LDC want to provide a scholarship opportunity for a member of this year's Leadership Orleans class for 2022? It'd be the same amount, roughly $1,000.
The class has already started, and it's supposed to be for a specific person, and you've had no say in that, right?
Correct.
There's no one in that class that I can think of, because it's already, we met. There's no one in that class that is part of the program.
So can everyone hear Laura?
No, I didn't hear.
Okay, so part of this was, I believe, the invoice we got sent from Skip Helfrich was for the young lady that runs the Lockstone. I think
Rebecca was 2021.
Yeah, was going to be part of this year's class, unless she was last year's class.
Yeah, she just finished.
Let me.
So there's no one in the class right now that's an LDC, like in the new class. There's no one that we've named as a.
Because that's different than. Okay, well that changes things. Because I was exchanging emails with Skip Helfrich earlier last month, and there was an expectation there was someone already named. I thought it was the Lockstone.
Oh, did she? Oh, she's in there. So if she went through the program, that would make sense. Yeah.
For 2022.
So she's in the 2022
class. Yes. So, either way, they've targeted someone, but I've also talked with Kevin on this to make sure from a legal standpoint how we're dispersing funds for a grant of a sponsorship. And to really check the balances, we really have to make sure it's available for everybody that's taken the MAPS course, and then a selection criteria from there on to then select somebody. Obviously, if we only have one person that's interested in being the Lockstone individual, then that's what it is. But I can work with Kevin on criteria to make sure how we decide who that person would receive the sponsorship would be. But since the class has already started, it's kind of an awkward situation of there's really only one person from the MAPS course that's in the program for 2022.
If I recall, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall our conversation initially, we did supply a scholarship for an individual at the request of someone to do that for that individual. I don't recall at that time this board saying that it would be a perpetual yearly thing. I was under the impression it was just a one-time thing. Now, that's neither here nor there, because obviously that communication piece got discombobulated somewhere along the line. So I guess the question that's before us is, do we want to be providing a yearly sponsorship? Yes or no? And then if the answer is yes, then as you said, Michael, we really need to sit down and put together some criteria and how would the person be chosen and what regards and so forth and so on. But I think the bigger question is it the intent of this board to make it a yearly scholarship? And I think that's where we have to start the conversation. I don't know how others feel about that.
Well, I could shed an opinion.
Please.
I think the first time we send somebody, we sent a board member. I didn't realize we were sending folks that had gone through the Diane's class. So I think it's a good program, and I'd like to send board members to help them as they develop, especially those that want to. I'm not sure we should offer it beyond their board.
Okay, thanks for that, Skip.
Okay.
That's right.
Other opinions?
Paul, one more thing. If we're committed, I mean, I don't want the organization to be embarrassed. If we're committed, pay this year, but let's make it clear it's for board members, and that's just my opinion. But
well, that's the thing. We haven't.
Oh, yeah.
We never, obviously it didn't come before the board to commit to 2022, but somehow there was a commitment made, and that's why I received an invoice from Leadership Orleans for 2022, because there was the thought that we were an annual committal for that.
So did Natasha sign up with the expectation of getting $1,000 scholarship from us?
See, that part, I don't know if that's been communicated to Natasha or not. I'm afraid to put it out there and ask Tasha.
I can talk to Skip. I'm on his
okay, if you could, that would be great.
I can talk to him.
Well, I suspect, as Skip said, that it might be the proverbial water over the dam for 2022. You know, if there was an expectation we were going to do it on one or two parties' part, it's a little embarrassing at this point in time to say, nope, we never meant to do that. So it might be water over the dam for 2022. I'm looking beyond that.
Well, Paul, it depends how it was committed. If somebody just took it on themselves to commit the organization, they can't do that. But
well, certainly from Leadership Orleans, there's an expectation of it because they build Michael. Or build us, I should say.
If Laura's willing to get to the bottom of it, please do. And
yeah, I'll give Skip Helfrich a call and see what's been discussed with Natasha, and I'll let Michael know.
That'd be great.
I would tell him we don't, the board wasn't aware of this, but we're not going to leave them hanging out to dry. But
yeah, I told him that the board is not aware, and I would have to go through the process to get board approval, and I would talk about it at this meeting. But I did not think to ask the question to Skip. I did not think that ask the question to Skip if he's actually talked to Natasha as there was committal for that. So
right.
So Michael, is it your belief that Skip is of the understanding that we have not committed to a yearly scholarship? Is he aware of that?
Yes, I told him it'd have to go through board approval for 2022 for committal, and then I could not promise anything, whether that would be a yes, we were committed or not. I told him I have to go through the process, legally and, based on our policies. I have to make sure it gets the balances and everything gone through appropriately. So,
okay. Well, then Laura, thank you very much for stepping up and trying to ferret your way through this whole thing. Let's find out what it looks like for 2022. And then before the next leadership class begins, I think we need to make a decision on whether or not we want to commit to a yearly scholarship or a yearly scholarship that is only board members, or set a direction here.
Mm-hmm.
Paul?
Yes, sir.
The only opinion you got was mine, and I think you need everybody's opinion.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is it may not be fair just to spring upon people. Think about it. Think about it. And let's come back and put this on another agenda, Michael, and let's address it again, certainly before the next Leadership Orleans class begins. Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. Okay.
And in the meantime, I think Laura can find out a little bit more too. And
right
there.
I got it.
Exactly, Bill. And I think if we got to ante up for 2022, then we ante up. But then that's as far as it goes until this board makes a decision on whether we go forward with it or not. I agree. Okay. So give that some thought, and we'll put that on a future agenda to try to set a direction. Okay, moving on. Operations, Michael.
I actually don't have anything else to report on that, even though I have Diane listed there.
Okay, moving on. Anything under projects?
Not at this time.
Any old business?
No.
Hearing none, we'll move on to new business, mission statement and performance measures.
Yeah, so part of our annual review process is to review goals we set every year. And Jim's gone through this process with all of you before. So 2022, I've set some goals for us, but I want to go through 2021 first. In the packet, I've included what our goals were. We had 3 goals, and then I actually included where we actually kind of ended up. Our first goal being we wanted to provide Orleans County residents with the micro enterprise business loans. Because the loan program has gone away due to unforeseen circumstances, the goal was 0 and we had 0. Providing instruction or training to improve or develop the capabilities for jobs and business development. The goal was to help 8 residents a year. And this is through the micro enterprise program. We actually, for 2021, had 20 individuals go through the micro enterprise program last year and complete it. Which is great. So we more than doubled our expectation for that. And I think there's still some room for opportunity there. And a third part of our goals for 2021 was providing residents with programs to enhance the general prosperity and economic welfare of the people of Orleans County. And that is the MAPS program. So, and we did reach that goal of actually we had 2 courses, so if you want to count that as 2 different programs you could, or you count it as 1 program, so be it. But for 2022 measurements, I've set us up with, I changed our first goal for 2022. I reviewed this, and because we are focused on trying to apply for the grant for opportunities for assisting the micro enterprise program, I set up a goal for us to assist with grants to reach 5 individuals, knowing that there's possibility of anywhere from up to $35,000 per loan with this program. So I set it at 5 to make it somewhat the ability to provide those larger loans for businesses that might need it. Goal number 2 was to reach 20 residents of participating in the micro enterprise program for 2022. And then our third goal is similar to the 2021 goal of having a program available to assist the prosperity and economic well-being of people of Orleans County, being the MAPS program as well. And those are the goals that I've established for 2022. So that's the recap for us to submit to the ABO, if everyone is okay with that.
Okay, any questions on the goals that Michael has set? If not, I'd be happy to entertain a motion to accept those goals. Motion made by Jeff Martin, seconded by
Skip
Draper. Michael, if you would please, roll call vote.
Skip Draper?
Yes.
Jeff Martin? Bill Ike?
Yes.
Fred Miller?
Yes.
Kathy Blackburn?
Yes.
Laura Ollinger?
Yes.
Paul Hendel?
Yes, and the motion is unanimously carried. Moving on, board evaluations.
I've enclosed our annual evaluation form. So for you guys all to go through that, same as last year. If you could go through and check the boxes and get that back to me by February 25th so I can submit the overall evaluation summary report, that would be great.
Okay, so mail in, drop in, whatever, but do your best to try to get them back by that date. Will be greatly appreciated. And Michael, I think you had another item under new business.
Yeah, so we need to, 2 things, conduct an annual meeting and go through our audit report once that's finalized with EFRP Group. I'd like to have a special meeting end of March, and I targeted 2 dates based on Kevin's schedule, March 23rd or March 24th, depending on what everyone's schedule was, if that would work, either date.
For me personally, the 23rd is better. I have a conflict on the 24th. I don't know how everybody else is. I don't have to be there. Jeff can certainly take the meeting if need be.
Okay.
I'm the opposite.
Laura's the 24th.
Jeff, you need to unmute.
Just doing that. You hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, both dates are fine for me.
Same with me.
Same here.
I'm in DC on the 23rd, but if it's a Zoom meeting, I may be able to attend. 24th is open. The 24th is open.
Okay. We actually might be able to, if we do the 24th, I'll talk with Kevin. We could be able to do Paul and Skip or whoever, Zoom those who can't make it, and we'll just publish if you're out of state, out of town, if that's a route that you want to go so you can be in attendance, we can do that.
Okay. The 24th, okay. I'm home. It's the 23rd, I'm away.
23rd, okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like the 24th is good for everybody except me. And my conflict is one in which I won't be able to Zoom, but that's okay.
Okay.
Jeff can certainly handle the meeting, and I'm fine with that. So
perfect.
If it's good with everybody, let's look at the 24th.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other new business? Hearing none, be happy to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Hello. Can you hold one second?
I'll move it.
A motion by Skip, seconded by
Second.
Bill. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Ladies and gentlemen, stay warm, stay dry, and get your shovels ready.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
See ya.
So long. Bye.
Yep.
Thanks.